Welcome back to Grumpy Vet Garage. Um, I don't think all of us want to have trailer queens or garage queen cars. We want to drive the car. We want to enjoy our car. So we drive them. I took my car on a second trip to Florida, and on the way back home, the inevitable, it seemed, happened. So I'll go ahead and show you the video right here. So that was a deer. A deer that decided that I didn't know exactly what it wanted to do, but it definitely wanted to hit the front of my car. So that window is not supposed to be there. Got a piece of plastic somewhere over there. Appears to be a small dent in the hood. The bumper isn't quite located, and there's nice deer fur all over the side of the car and up. It's not going to be caught on the video, but I saw him do a little 360 in the road next to me and then take off running. While it's pretty easy to be upset, and I am, I'm not happy about it. It's one of those things. It's good to count your blessings. I was coming through a small town. I had to reduce speed for that small town, and I hadn't quite got back up to highway speed. So I was going roughly 35 miles an hour and slammed on the brakes. So maybe I was going 20, maybe 15 miles an hour when I actually hit the deer. But again, that was enough to do pretty significant damage. But again, could have been much worse. Could have been going highway speeds. In that case, the deer easily could have been right into the front of the car, windshield. We could have lost control. So me and my wife are fine. Maybe a little upset about it, but it kind of is what it is. So I haven't taken anything apart. Kind of wanted to show you how it looks right now, but I'll do a little quick tour. But I'm gonna need to get this car up in the air and start taking some things apart and try to see what kind of damage it actually is. It doesn't look that bad, but with the bumper drooped down on that side, I don't know what mountings broke, or maybe it's just the clips that are popped out. I don't know. Probably something broke, but yeah, we need to investigate. But let me go ahead and show you up close what's wrong with the car. Okay, coming over to the car, you can see the headlight. It's busted out. I don't have all the pieces. You come around the side, and this is supposed to be up higher, so it's been shoved back. The hood here appears to be okay. Maybe some scratches, possibly. But if you come over here, the light really shows it right. You see that? That's supposed to be flat right there. So there appears to be a bit of a crease right here where there's still some deer schmutz, we'll call it, that need to figure out what's going on with that. But really the biggest thing is like, oh yeah, I also found this. Let me show you this. Also, you might not be able to see it. Small scratch right there. So, and then you can see the deer fur. So, I did see him get up and run away, but again, I don't know how far the end of the deer ran away, but yeah, this is what we're looking at. So, let me go ahead and get the car up on some jack stands, get the tire off, and then I can really start pulling some stuff apart to see what I have here. So now I'm going to go ahead and pull this panel. It's a whole bunch of push pins that you need to pull, and then this will come off. So I'm going to remove this, and then hopefully that'll give me an idea of what's going on here, because this has dropped down probably a good solid, I don't know, ½ inch, 3/4 of an inch, and it's moved back. So I kind of want to see what's going on here. A tool like this is what you'll use to pull those pull pins, and it makes quick work of pulling this panel off. Panel's pulled, again, all the push pins. I'm going to go ahead and pull this tire and then the front inner fender liner and kind of see what that gets me. I don't want to start pulling bolts indiscriminately, but this all looks straight. So I'm assuming whatever this is mounting to right here has shifted back. So I got to see why that is, because it seems like here, this should be up closer to this, but we'll see. Also, all this is mounted to plastic. So I don't know if something is broken or shifted, but I'm going to pull this tire and then pull the front edge of this fender liner. Okay, so with that fender liner and everything out of the way, it appears as though the headlight is pressing up against this mainstay. I went ahead and removed the other cover on the other side to kind of see if this looked like it could be bent, and it doesn't look bent. It just looks like that the headlight assembly is twisted back. Now, this is plastic underneath, so I got to remove all of this. So it's T30s on top, and there's two T30s inside and a connector. So I'm going to try to get this out of the way. I already got the bumper pulled back a little bit too to kind of see why it's all twisted. We may have a bigger problem than this headlight, but we'll see. So coming a little further forward, this is the connector that you have to disconnect on the headlight assembly. And then this normally goes here, which it got hit hard enough to pop it off of this clip. But yeah, this has to come off. And then there's bolts that are here up top, here, and then there's two right here that you access from the fender well. Now to get it out of here, I had to flex the bumper back, and it would be good if you had like help to do that, kind of pull that back, and then you can pull the assembly out. But now what it looks like when I shut the hood is this doesn't want to line up, and that's all based upon the location of this right here. So I think this may have either gotten shifted down or something, but I'm going to go ahead and pull this plastic piece out and see if I can find any fatigue damage to it, because we may need to just go ahead and get another one of these. So to try to figure out what was wrong, I figured the stay in here has to be damaged in some way, and I found the damage. So let me go ahead and pop the hood again and show you where it's at. Okay, so I took the little bracket off that holds this to this piece, but you can see it right there. It's, let me move my hand out of the way. You can see it right there, how much it just moves. So this is also damaged. So I believe that there's probably more flex in the headlight, which also does a good job of stabilizing this area. But this bracket here, that's a major, watch when because we need it to be up like this, right? To make it properly sit when it's aligned, but it's doing this, and you can see that's where it's, right there is where it's buckled. So gonna need this piece. Okay, so by the magic of YouTube and 4 days of shipping, here are the two parts I need. These parts are actually both Toyota parts. They are not BMW parts. So of course, a lot of the car is BMW, but these are the parts that specifically make it a Supra compared to maybe a Z4. I think it's funny, my brother-in-law really loves Toyota, but a little dig at him, the two parts that broke when it got hit by a deer were Toyota parts and not the BMW parts. So I ended up getting it through a dealership online. Not all dealers price the same, so you kind of want to shop online. I'm still going to leave a link to that dealer and then also what these part numbers are, but you need to go ahead and shop around, but also make sure that you're getting parts from an actual Toyota dealer. But let's go ahead and start by putting on this bracket first. We need to get that aligned, get the bumper aligned with the hood, and then we can come back and put in the headlight. So before moving forward, I just want to make sure to explain exactly what I found. I have the tire on currently, and there would be the fender liner here, but going from this bracket down to this radiator bracket is that main piece, that polymer composite bracket, and then it has a small bracket that holds this piece. But when I shut my hood, as the bumper sits relaxed right now, it is completely aligned. There's no misalignment here. So I just need to put in that bracket, attach it, and keep it aligned, and then I can put in the liner. And then the headlight just mounts in 4 places. One of them being down here, and then the 2 on top. And that's really it. Everything else is straight. Nothing else is damaged. So it should be a pretty easy repair. I guess it makes sense to go ahead and take this opportunity now that things are kind of pulled apart, is to kind of show you around things you probably wouldn't have been able to see unless something like this happened. So horn is underneath the driver's side headlight. You can see that rail coming forward. That's what the inside bumper support looks like right there. This is the mount for the hood latch. Here's some of the mounts for the side radiator. Look up in there. Some air conditioning stuff in there. So here's the radiator on this side. Looks pretty clear to me that if I wanted to pull this out through the fender well. I probably could, because it's really just this bracket right here comes off and then this comes back. Brake duct, here's the bottom coolant hose, there's the top coolant hose, and you can see the aluminum part on the bottom of the frame connecting to the steel part of the car. Rack and pinion, sway bar, back side of the ABS right here, so ABS lines. Here's the air conditioning and air intake, or the intake manifold cooling circuit. Here's the main engine cooling circuit here. Pretty beefy stay right here running up, you can see. So yeah, I mean, I don't want to take everything apart unless I had to, but of course now that I have it apart, it's kind of good to see all this stuff right here. So there's the aluminum right there. Somebody got a little crazy with the seam sealer. It's all just kind of running down right here. But yeah, everything looks good. But yeah, I figured I would show you that before moving on, because again, you're not going to see this unless you rip this all apart. This first panel, it goes in like, basically like this here. And then bolts come from the back and bolts come from the back there. These bolts are torqued to 71 inch-pounds, not foot-pounds, but inch-pounds. But I'm going to go ahead and put them in loosely, but I need to wait because I got to make sure to align this panel to that. So here's the gap with that bracket installed. Granted, this is the test fit, and this is pretty good. It compares well to the back. But I'm going to go ahead now and finish tightening everything up. All of the bracket screws are 71 inch-pounds. So not foot-pounds, but 71 inch-pounds. So I'm going to snug everything up, and then I'm going to move on to the headlight. So now I got my old busted headlight flipped over, and then this is the new headlight that I got. And you can see this control unit and then the daytime running light controller, they both need to be moved over. So to remove those screws, you're going to need a T20, and then pull out the screws and then move it over. Definitely make sure to take your time. You don't want to rush this process and damage anything, especially the pins on these connectors. So this is the female side, but the male side of the connector, you want to make sure you're not going to bend any pins as you're plugging it in. So take your time, not a rush. So here's the control unit removed off the back of the old headlight. And then here's the control unit for the daytime running lights. Seals all still look good, so I'm going to go ahead and just install these. Again, you're screwing into plastic, so the torque is really going to be non-existent. It's going to be just nice and snug, so don't go crazy with it. You're not trying to damage anything. Okay, so I went ahead and removed the 10mm bolts that go across the top, and then this part over here is still loose. What you're going to need to do to get the actual headlight in is get a friend to help you pull this back and that back as required to slip it in. So headlights in place. These are T30 torques on top, and then there's T30 torques that are actually in the fender well. So these get torqued to 71 inch-pounds. The ones in the fender well get torqued to 44 inch-pounds. And then these are 10mm across the front that hold on this bumper cover. Those are going to be torqued to 71 inch-pounds as well. So not foot-pounds, these are all inch-pounds. Now I'm going to put back in the fender liner. All the screws that hold it in are torqued to 23 inch-pounds. That is so small. I would just say just snug them down by hand. I wouldn't even bother trying to put a torque wrench. 23 inch-pounds is kind of low. Okay, so the new headlight's in, and this is all lined up. I'm pretty happy with this. I'm going to go ahead and put on the panels underneath the hood with all the push pins, and then I'm going to go ahead and put the tire on and get her back on the ground. Okay, now that the car is on the ground, you can go ahead and make adjustments for the aiming of the headlight. The adjustments are going to be, one's going to be underneath this cover, and the other one, you may or may not have a cover. My car doesn't have covers here. I'm not sure if that's a problem or not, but it never did, so I'm not really worrying about it too much. But it actually says on the cover, down and up, so the directions that you would turn with a Phillips screwdriver, and then left and right, the direction you would turn. There's a very overcomplicated set of instructions from Toyota, which is really from BMW, on how to align these headlights. You're aligning headlights as you would normally do it. Now, If your car is lowered, I've heard people complain about the direction the headlights are pointing in low beam. And I've also heard people that run drag packs where the back of the car is now a little bit higher than normal with the front being lower. This is where you would make adjustments to your headlight pointing in those scenarios, as well as changing a headlight to make sure that it's pointing in the right direction. So everything's back together and on the ground, and the car is good to go. What did I learn in this? You don't want to hit deer. Even at low speeds, probably 15, 20 miles an hour, a deer will still do some pretty serious damage. Second thing I learned is it could have been much worse. Could have high speed impact, could have really damaged the car, could have hurt myself or my wife. We could have lost control. So you want to really count your blessings. So this is not the normal content that I have on my channel, but if you enjoy Supra content, Silverado content, DSM content, please consider subscribing to Grumpy Vet Garage, liking this video, sharing this video. All these things really help the channel to grow. Additionally, we have a Grumpy Vet Garage merch store. This is a Supra specific shirt. By all means, go in there and get something for yourself. I'd like to thank all the people that have gone in there and bought something from the merch store. It really helps the channel to grow, trying to get better camera equipment, better lighting, also parts for various projects. So support the channel if you like. But as always, thanks for coming and seeing me in my garage. And until next time, have a good one.